Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So here we are with the very new topic, that is TCP/IP model. So in the previous video we have seen about OSI model, all the 7 layers we have discussed about it, and if you have not watched that video then please make sure that you have please watch it, because all the concept of OSI model is going to be used in TCP. So that's why I'm not going to go in in very deep about all those layers, because the same thing is there, but the only thing is that it is the short or concise form of OSI model. Okay, so let's just start. Okay, so the OSI model is just a reference or logical model. Now in the current time, now TCP model is being used. OSI model is only the logical model or the reference model that is being used. It was designed to describe the functions of the communication system by dividing the communication procedure into smaller and simpler components. Now, simply like I have explained the OSI model, they also have explained like how the receiver is going and the sender is going, and all those 7 layers like A, P, S, T, N, D, P, all those 7 layers, and the format in which it was moving, the layer was moving, was sender was coming from application to physical layer, yeah, and receiver was going from physical layer to application layer. Okay, so that's the way how in OSI model we have seen everything in detail, like each and every layer, and also the networking device that are there in that specific layer. Okay, so but when we talk about TCP/IP model, it was designed and developed by Department of Defense (DoD) in the 1960s, and is based on standard protocols. Like some rules are there, and I'm going to tell what is protocol. It stands for Transmission Control Protocol. The TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, and IP stands for Internet Protocol. The TCP/IP model is concise version of OSI model. As I've already told this, that OSI model is having total of 7 layers, whereas in TCP, either in some book you will see that it is 5, or you can see that there are 4 layers. Okay, 5 or 4, you usually see this. So we are going to see about it in this video. We are going to see about 4 layers. I will also tell that in some books you are going to see the 5 layers. So I will tell you the 5 layers also, like what are the 5 layers. Okay, it contains 4 layers, and like 7 layers in OSI model. So we are going to see about it. Like in OSI model, we were having application layer, then presentation session, then transport network, and then data link layer and physical layer. But in TCP we are having only 5 layers, or you can say 4 layers. So we are going to see about it, all those 4 layers. Okay, so let's move to that. Yeah, so here's the comparison between OSI model layers and TCP/IP model layers. Application layer, we are having this application layer same like this, then transport layer, direct going to the transport layer, because we know that all these 3 above layers are merged, or you can say it is just combined together and formed as application layer. Okay, transport layer, that is also called the heart of the OSI model, if you remember. Then internet layer, it is basically the network layer, and network access layer is the combination of data link layer and physical layer. So now you can understand how these 4 layers are working. And also if you can also see that there are 5 layers. Instead of here, like we have seen 4 layers, instead of 4 layers there are 5 layers in some books or some places. So what are those? So basically these application layer is same, the combination of all these 3 layers, that is application, presentation and session. Transport layer is same, internet layer is same, the network layer. But network access layer, it consists of data link layer and physical layer. So all these 2 layers will be written here, DLL and physical layer. Okay, then that will be total of 5 layers. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. So if you remember the like what were the functions of these layers, that I have clearly and in detail I have explained everything in OSI model layer. If you have watched that video, then no need to even just check, means it's just a revision of whatever we have seen in OSI model. So we will just check out all those things once, so that everything will be clear once again. So, first of all, the way in which we were moving in OSI model, that is the sender and receiver, the direction in which we were moving. It is same like that. Sender was like this, and receiver was something like this. Okay, and the order will be A T I N. Okay, the same like this will be there. Okay, fine. So first we will go from down to up. Okay, so network access layer. Now what is this network access layer? Okay, so this is the one of the lowest layer in TCP/IP model, or also in you can see in OSI model. OSI model we are having it as physical layer. Okay, it is the combination of data link layer and physical layer of the OSI model. I hope you have got it, because I've explained it in the previous slide, that how it is combining these two layers. Now if you remember in the previous video, I've explained what is actually happening in physical layer and data link layer. So in data link layer, what we were doing, we were focusing on MAC address. If you remember, we were focusing on MAC address, whereas in physical layer we were actually focusing on the type of topology. If you remember that, or if you have watched that video, type of topology basically means how the networking devices are connected, as well as we also transmit the data into bits. Okay, if you remember, I have explained everything. That is, in physical layer, we first the transmission of data happens. That is, any type of data is first transmitted into bits. Okay, it is first transmitted into bits, and in data link layer we add the in the frame section. If you remember, we are having frames in data link layer. There we are adding the MAC address of the networking device. Okay, so that's the combination. Okay, so it looks out for hardware addressing, that is MAC address, and the protocols present in this layer allow for the physical transmission of data. So no need to go much in deep, because I have already explained everything, the functions of data link layer and physical layer in the previous video. So I'm explaining I'm just taking the revision of all those things. Okay, internet layer. Now let's come to internet layer. It basically covers the network layer. Okay, because what we are having in OSI, A, P, S, T, and D, P. So this part is what? This part is our network layer in TCP/IP model, and then this part is our what? Internet layer. So now in internet layer, now if you remember in OSI model, I have explained what happens. We focuses on the logical address, or simply means that we focuses on the IP address. Okay, the address of the network. Okay, so this layer parallels the function of OSI's network layer. It defines the protocol which are responsible for logical transmission of data over the entire network, basically the logical address also. The main protocol residing at this layer are, so there are basically three main protocols residing at this layer, that is IP. Okay, IP basically means internet protocol. If you remember, what is the name of this layer? TCP/IP. Now you can understand from where this IP comes. So this IP is actually coming in this internet layer. It stands for internet protocol, and it is actually responsible for delivering the packets. Okay, if you remember, I have also explained that in data link layer we are having it in the form of frames, but in network layer we were having it in the form of packets. So here you can see how in IP what happens. It is responsible for delivering the packets from the source host to the destination host by looking at the IP address. I've also explained this in the packet headers. Okay. If you're having any kind of doubt, I request you guys to go and watch that video, because that is very, very important. Okay, because I've explained each and every part in detail. Okay, now next protocol is ICMP. It stands for Internet Control Message Protocol. Now what is that? Internet Control Message Protocol. It is encapsulated within IP datagrams and is responsible for providing host with information about network problem, like any kind of problem that is being faced. Or basically encapsulation is what it is, hiding, or you can say it is the wrapping up of data and functions, okay, into a single unit, okay, within IP datagrams, and is responsible for providing host with information about network problem. So now you can understand what is ICMP and IP. Okay. Next one is ARP. ARP is Address Resolution Protocol. Its job is to find the hardware address of a host from a known IP address. Now you can understand that we in internet layer what we are doing, we are focusing on the IP address. Okay, but from where we are getting like from what like how we can get the MAC address by the help of IP address. So that protocol, or that main protocol that is focusing this is known as ARP, because basically after internet layer what we have the network layer. You can understand here, after internet layer we were having the network access layer, and there what we need the MAC address. So by the help of IP address we can also get the MAC address, from where the devices, which device is getting connected to which IP address. So by that we get the MAC address, and that is known as the address resolution protocol. So I hope this is clear. Next, going to the host to host layer. Okay, that is also known as, this is why it is called as host to host layer. We will also see that this is also known as the transport layer, or even in the OSI model. I hope you remember I have explained that this is the most important, or even it is known as the end to end. It is responsible for end to end delivery of the message or communication. Okay, this is also known as the heart of the OSI model, because it is the playing the key role. Okay, this layer is analogous to the transport layer of the OSI model. It is responsible for end to end. Okay, what does that mean? Means the data is completely moving from one device to another, and that is responsible, or that is done in the transport layer. And also the error free delivery of data. It shields the upper layer application from the complexities of data. Okay, the two main protocols that happens in this host to host layer or transport layer is that that's also reason end to end is happening. That's the only reason why host to host layer is why this is also called as host to host layer. Okay, because we are actually focusing from which device to which device the specific data is moving. Okay, the two main protocols present in this layer are transmission control protocol, and second is user datagram protocol. Now what is transmission control protocol? Now I've already explained that earlier in the previous slide what we were seeing, IP, the internet protocol, and now we are getting the TCP, that is transmission control protocol, and it is in the transport layer, and IP is in was in internet, or sorry, it was in network layer. Yeah, I think so. It was in internet layer. Yeah. Okay, fine. So don't get confused from there. IP means internet protocol. Okay, and yeah. So transmission control protocol, it is known to provide reliable and error-free communication between end system. It performs sequencing and segmentation of data. Now, if you remember, in OSI I have told the data that is being transferred is known as frames. In which layer? In the data link layer. And then it was known as the packets in network layer, and in transport layer it was known as the segments. So the segmentation is done in this layer. It also has acknowledgement feature and control the flow of the data through flow control mechanism. Now you can understand the main function is sequencing and segmentation of data. Basically the synchronization and error free. Everything is done in this. Now next protocol is user datagram protocol. It is just the opposite of transmission control protocol. That is, it is the must do or go to protocol if your application does not require reliable transport. You don't need to have any reliable transport, then you can go for user datagram protocol, as it is very cost effective, unlike TCP, which is connection oriented. Like in TCP we are focusing on connection, okay, connection oriented protocol. But whereas UDP, that is user datagram protocol, is connectionless. Okay, yeah, fine. So by this we covered the third part also. Next we are going to see about application layer, and that's the fourth one, that is the last one. Application layer, I've already explained what is application layer. It is the end layer, or you can say that whenever any client, or you can say the user is asking for anything, or yeah, so what is being visible to the user is the application. Or suppose if you want to send any message, then you use the messenger app, that is known as the application. So that layer, application layer, focuses, but in TCP IP model we have three parts, that is application layer, then APS. These three part is focused, that is application, presentation and session layer. This layer perform the function of top three layer of OSI model. Yeah, I've already explained that. Now if you remember from OSI model what are the function of application, presentation and session layer, then it's very easy for you all, that you can understand. Basically the error free, then just the encryption decryption part, then also the synchronization part, everything is done in this. Okay, it is responsible for node to node. Like in transport layer we were having end to end, just like that we are having here node to node communication, and controls user interface, that is whatever being visible to the user is controlled by application layer. Now specifying some of the protocols, the important protocols, as we are studying the TCP IP model. So the important protocols that are there in application layer are HTTP, you must have seen this, or hypertext transfer protocol, HTTPS, FTP, file transfer protocol, then TFTP, Telnet, SSH. Now all these are the important protocols that are there in this application layer, and I think you guys are having the idea about it. And if you don't have the idea about all these, then don't worry, I will try to make videos on this too. Not because if I will explain all these things, then this specific video will become too long, and it will be difficult for you guys to understand the main motive of this video, and that is TCP IP model. And I hope that it is clear to you all. So by this we come to the end of our video. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you.